let's talk about this deck for a second. So the deck building restrictions in Runeterra are you can have up to 6 total champion cards in your deck. Champion cards, the most expensive cards in Runeterra. They cost $3 per copy. The other rarities of cards cost 10 cents, 30 cents, and $1.20. The average competitive Runeterra deck costs about $25 to build. According to my deck website here, this deck in front of us right now costs about $23. The champion design is something that I love in Runeterra. The champion design in Runeterra makes it so even when you lose games, they can still feel satisfying because the champions give you kind of this goal that your deck can do, so you could walk away from a game having leveled your champion and feel like you accomplished a goal, even if you didn't win the game altogether, which I think is really important. Like, we play games for fun, right? Declan, I need you to go outside my office, please. I love you. So, Ezreal here is elusive, which means he can only be blocked by other elusives. When he hits my opponent's Nexus, he creates a fleeting card, which is kind of a temporary or token card in my hand. It goes away at end of turn. And it creates a fleeting Mystic Shot. Mystic Shot's a 2-cost, deal 2 damage to anything. Ezreal levels by targeting your enemies with your things. So Ezreal's kind of is self-enabling, because when he creates these Mystic Shots, we can use these Mystic Shots to shoot our opponent's stuff to work on leveling Ezreal up. When you meet the level requirement, he pops up to his leveled mode, and then his leveled mode is a very powerful aggro/combo enabler style thing. So Ezreal's leveled mode says whenever you cast a spell, deal 2 damage to the enemy Nexus. So this deck that we're playing here is looking to leverage the new mechanic out of Targon, the Targon region, which is the creation of gems. So gems are very cheap spells that heal an ally and give them an extra attack, but importantly, they're just cheap spells. So basically, you're looking to level Ezreal up and then cast a bunch of gems to deal 2 damage to your opponent a bunch and kind of generate a combo kill at the end. So the goal is to have a bunch of cards like Mystic Shot and Get Excited that kill our opponent's stuff and target them, so we can eventually level Ezreal to then cast a bunch of gems while we have his leveled mode out to deal damage to the opponent. So let's go ahead and dive on into some gameplay here and take a look at what that looks like. Hey, Fruvius. And yeah, if you're someone that thinks that you might be interested in checking out a new game, I'd encourage you to just install it on mobile or PC. There's a series of challenges that you can play through that do a good job of teaching you all the game mechanics. Ezreal, Leona. Probably not Sminted. So, well, maybe, but it looks different than this. So if you pair Ezreal with Leona, you don't really have room for a lot of the gem cards, which means you can't really combo kill people. So, my opponent here is playing Lulu Misfortune. This is one of the things I actually really love about Runeterra. Lulu Misfortune here tells me my opponent is likely playing an aggressive deck. So, I'm going to keep Thermo Beam as removal. I'm going to mulligan Hush and Pale Cascade, looking for more removal and anti-aggro cards. So, even though Runeterra has a best of one on the ladder, you get to make informed mulliganing decisions game 1, which I love. I drew an 8-drop here, which I really don't want in the aggro matchup, so Spacey Sketcher here lets me convert a card in my hand to something else. So this uses the Invoke mechanic. So the Invoke mechanic presents us with 3 choices here of cards that I get to put into my hand. And I'm going to grab probably the Trickster here, just a pretty cheap threat that can get into combat and block against an aggro deck. Combat in this game is similar to Magic in that one player declares blockers and the other player declares attackers. I'm going to start my turn by attacking here. You'll notice that I have 2 resources. Every turn, you gain a resource, and you get all your resources back. You'll notice my opponent here has 2+1 resources, though. So the reason why this is Runeterra's resource system is a little bit of a twist on how Hearthstone's mana system works. So mana in Runeterra can carry over turn to turn. So for example, I'm going to pass here, and instead of just losing this 2 mana, it gets banked here into spell mana. I turn sub-only mode off for Runeterra because the Runeterra community has both been less toxic on average, and we have slightly less people in chat for Runeterra stuff still. Now, the extra mana here can explicitly only be used for spells. That's why it's called spell mana. So, Chumpwump here is an ally or a unit or followers, and he costs 4, so I can't use my spell mana for that. I'm going to go ahead and play Solari Priestess here. This invokes a card that specifically costs 4, 5, or 6, so there are 8 different cards that cost 4, 5, or 6, so I get 3 of those to pick from here. I think I'm going to take the Meteor Shower. This deals 4 to one enemy and 1 to another. Both of my opponent's champions have 3 life, so this will be able to kill those, which is great. Yeah, I think people saying there's similarities to Hearthstone or Magic, like I said, Runeterra is a newer game, and it really feels like the people that made Runeterra looked at all those things from Magic and Hearthstone over the years, and were like, okay, these are the good parts from here, these are the good parts from here, let's try and mix something up. So I have some decisions to make here. I could play Chumpwump, which is kind of appealing. So Chumpwump creates 2 mushroom clouds in my hand, which I could loot away with this rummage. So I think I want to do that. Yeah, Steve Rubin is the lead live balance person on Runeterra, and he has a Magic Pro Tour win, for example. And they have a ton of talented, experienced game design people that are working on balancing the game.
Looking for trouble? It found you.
So I'm going to go ahead and attack with my 4-3 here. I'm not going to attack with my 1-2 because I don't want them to be able to block it, but if they trade Misfortune here, that's a good trade for me. I kind of expect them to either chump block or just take 4. Damage stays on units across turns in this game, so chump blocking is a lot better in Runeterra than it is in something like Magic. Yeah, and Runeterra, I often say, has the highest player agency or in-game decisions of any card game I've ever played, and in part, that's because of both players drawing a card every turn, and you getting all your resources back every turn, so you're not just, like, constantly passing with mana up so you can do stuff on their turn. Your units can basically attack and block each turn. Just really, really good back and forth. Okay, so they're concussive palming to stun this. I think before they get to attacks here, so fast and slow spells form a stack in the middle where you can respond. So I'm going to go ahead and respond with my Get Excited here, which makes me discard a card to deal 3 to something. The priority system in Runeterra can take a little bit of getting used to, but the reason why I'm responding here, for instance, is because I want to be able to, when a stack finishes resolving, whoever played the first card on it, their opponent gets priority afterwards. So they tried to stun my thing, I killed their thing in response, they're retreating to pick her back up. So I'm just gonna say, okay, this all happened. One key difference from Magic is that you can't partially resolve the stack in this game. Once you say okay, resolve, the stack just happens. I think I'm gonna go ahead and rummage here, turn these mushrooms into real cards. I'm expecting them to return Misfortune back to play, and then I can Thermo Beam her before combat.
No prey, no pay.
Yeah, similar to Batches. Oh, right. Huh. So, Misfortune's trigger here deals 1 to my Nexus and my battling allies. So if I go to block this here, her trigger will kill this before this deals damage to their 4-4. And I can mouse over the eye to see how combat's going to work. there's ever any question in your mind about how the stack's gonna resolve or how combat's gonna work, the eye will reveal all. So this is stunned, so it can't block. I think I'm gonna go ahead and chump block with my O2 here to keep my life total a little bit high. I'm gonna go ahead and thermo beam this.
I'll be damned.
So the difference between gems and a slow spell Bone Zone is because gems are burst, they don't pass priority after you play them. So you can basically only play them when you can play a slow spell, but playing them, you retain priority. Is the key distinguishing factor there. Play my elusive out. So fast and slow spells, when they happen, your opponent gets a chance priority back to play things after they resolve, whereas with burst spells, you keep priority. I really like Diana. Lulu was my favorite at first, but the more I play with Diana, the more I really like her.
Who's angry for action?
This card's super impressive. So Jack the Winner here, 5/6 for 5, just really good stat line. And every turn, he creates them a fleeting sleep with the fishes, which deals damage to one of their things and my Nexus. So I think I'm going to start by attacking with these two. This is elusive, so they can't block it. And this is a 4/1, so they could trade here, or if they block here, I can Mystic Shot to finish Jack. Kind of expecting them to trade here.
You and me.
Really? Okay. Deal-orino. That's a surprise to me, but I'll take it. Get a Mystic Shot to finish this off.
Bountiful. No thanks.
Burst is kind of like Split Second. Kinda, sorta. So Split Second spells in Magic technically still go on the stack, whereas Burst spells in Runeterra, they just happen, and you don't pass priority.
Get bloody.
So normally when you play a spell, your opponent then also gets a chance to do something. However, with a burst spell, it just happens and your opponent doesn't get a chance to do anything afterwards. So they made this vulnerable so they can force something to block it. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to Meteor Shower, deal 4 to Lulu and 1 to their 3/2. And this way, if they attack with this, I can kill here. They do have 5 mana up here, so they could have something to protect. We could see like another retreat happen here to protect Lulu. Yeah, more akin to a special action like Morph is a better comparison, Stiggy. Yeah, their retreats have been really good so far this game. And Retreat is a good example of a burst spell. So this is a burst spell, which puts this into play, and then they get to attack right away. How do giant growth spells work if damage is sticky? It's a good question. So giant growth type effects essentially heal the thing that they target, is how it works out. So if your thing has damage on it and you giant growth it, its health goes back up afterwards. I'm going to block my 1/2 here because I have Static Shock I can use to deal the last point here. I can go ahead and Thermo Beam to finish kill Lulu here. Both of these are a little awkward at the moment. They both want me to discard something, but I don't really have anything I love discarding. I think I'm going to start with Static Shock on these two and see what we draw. So are all buff permanent, or am I misunderstanding? Some are permanent and some are not. So some buffs, for example, like Pale Kassad here, say give an ally this bonus this round. Other bonuses will say grant an ally this bonus, and grant as a keyword means it's permanent. Urchin looking super awkward here.
Face me.
One part sandalwood and one part pitch.
So she levels up because she supported something. I'm gonna put this here, currently taking 9. I'm gonna go ahead and hush this to wipe the bonus off it. So this is only 2. Oh, you know what? I could put this here, and then I could Pale Kassad to kill this. Yeah, I think that's the plan. So this pumps this, and then we can trade. And then we take a total of 7 down to 3. We're not in a great spot, but it's not just over. Still have a shot here. They have 2 cards here, so they could blow us out, or if they have like something on a pump spell, we could die. But I think this is the play to win line. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So I gave that quick attack, so it's gonna eat. Quick attack means their thing hits first, so my thing dies. So hush when we play it. Oh, I could hush again. Oh, I'm so dumb. Ah, I could hush again. All right, we bunted this game. Hush creates extra copies. In my mind, I was discarding this, but yeah, I messed that up. So probably dead. Now I have to do this. So if I would have hushed again, there, we'd be in a really good spot, and I didn't, and now we're not. I would have had the beam for the last Lulu. What's up, dude? Okay, that's a redraw. My seals an ally or my next is 2 and draws 1. So if I start my turn on this, or if I play this and pass, they'll probably start by attacking. They can make this a 4. And then I die to those. So I think I'm just doing this, even though this card does not seem very good in this deck. Maybe we've just been lucky and haven't drawn 3s. It deals 1 damage and gives me a 1-drop. So I'm not dead to them starting the turn by attacking at least. So we got that going for us. Okay, Ezreal's is leveled at least, so he can maybe help us take over next turn if he starts making Mystic shots. Hopefully they start the turn by playing a unit out, and then I can play my Mentor Stones. So they're giving her a barrier. Yep.
Quietly. Enter, traveler, and stop staring.
Okay, so... Oh, this is a 5-5. Oh, I'm dumb. Her leveled mode's a 5-5. Gives 5-5. I was thinking this was only 4.
Let's get to it.
Wait, did they just talk themselves out of it? Holy crap, they talked themselves out of lethal. God bless. Alright, one good punt deserves another. They think I have Hush. Yeah, they're playing around Hush. That's incredible. I should have put a 2-power over here and put this in front of here. I was just so excited. I was just so excited they didn't kill us. How close to dead are they? So this is 9?
Yeah, boy.
Oh, no. So, Citrus Courier lets them rally, which means they get to attack again. All right, so I probably win that game if I don't mess up the hush line earlier.
2 out of 3?
I missed rehushing their thing. Which is fine, that's on me. Too many oranges. Okay, opponent is playing Oriensol Trundle, which is a ramp / control deck. I definitely don't want 3 things that want me to discard to start. So I'm gonna mulligan. I don't need Hush to start either. I'm gonna mulligan 2 of these 3, keep a Spacey Sketcher. Big agree, Quaddle. 9 times out of 10 when I lose a game of Runeterra, my reaction is, oh, I messed up. Not, oh, I got unlucky. Huh. So I'd rather have a 4-1 with Overwhelm for 1 or the Elusive. Probably the Elusive.
One star's whipsy is another spark. Paint your feelings.
So you can see the opponent here just banking up mana for the first couple of turns. Ha. Ezreal. So they have a 3-mana ramp creature that's an 0/4. I think I just play Trickster and start attacking here.
Oh, that's new.
So this gives them an extra mana gem as long as it's alive, so they'll have 5 mana next turn. Kill Switcher, thank you for the quarter viewer. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Make way for trolls!
Think about Invoke as a mechanic. Invoke is too random as possible to play around what cards your opponent could invoke. That's really lazy thinking. That's like, feels very groupthink to me, Blake. It's actually easier to play around Invoke than it is to play around what your opponent could have in their deck, right? Because Invoke has a very defined set of cards that you're pulling from, whereas your deck could have any cards from 2 regions in it. I think Invoke is an incredibly good mechanic that is a great example of good variance. Wow, that's a huge blowout. So normally things retain damage in them.
Cross easy!
Normally things retain damage on them in this game, but this has regeneration, and they had a pump spell to save from my damage-based removals. They basically just straight up countered it.
Time for a true display of skill.
I agree. It's less random than draw a card. Completely agree. This is elusive, so we have to keep chipping away here. Our Ezreal is still super far away from leveling up. We've only targeted things once, need to target them 8. That being said, these static shots each target 2 things, so we'll get to level Ezreal fairly quickly here. Ezreal caught looking directly into the sun. He saw Trump do it one time and wanted to give it a try himself.
Make them flat!
Alright, so I think I want to kill the Rinding Stones this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and Static Shock these 2 to start, get my Ezreal leveling.
Right there!
This is a pretty good draw, so I can go ahead and put this here and Pale Kassad to bump this. I can beat this in combat. We have an Avalanche here. We do have an Avalanche. Okay, so This deals 2 to everything, which is a little unfortunate. It does at least let me use Mystic Shot to finish the ramp card off here, but I'm gonna lose my Otter, which is a little sad. My Barret or whatever it is. Whatever in the heck this thing is now dead. Ezreal is now halfway to leveling. Got to target 4 more things.
Thought you'd never ask.
4 more enemies.
The trolls are going to war! Go to war!
This is a pretty difficult matchup for us, it feels like, because they have all these regeneration. We gotta really get under them. We can't. Our removal is largely damage based, so generally we survive by dealing damage over the course of a few turns. And we can't do that with these trolls. Yeah, correct, Salty Ninja. So there tends to be a lot more action and interactivity in Runeterra than in Magic, because you draw a card each turn, your things can attack and block each turn, and you get your mana back each turn. So there's a ton more decisions to be making. I think I want this charger, huh?
I know you're thinking and stuff, but could you make...
And here's where
Stop heckling me, Ezreal. Yeah, the 4-1 blocker with Pale Cascade here sounds great. Yeah, these Tri-Beam Improbulators, I think I'm gonna get rid of. There are slow spells in the game. Like this is actually, speaking of, this is a slow spell. So you can't play this one inside of combat. Yeah, Waffle, but that's not always an option. It is combo control, but like sometimes you like leveling our stuff, for example, is hard here. Yeah, you both players play every turn, Salty. Yeah, so slow spells just can't be played inside of combat. Yeah, there's kind of an opponent's turn. The thing that differentiates turns in this game is who's attacking. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to just be ignoring their board and rushing for their face. I don't know. Like, Ezreal's at 5 of 8 here, so, like, he's gonna level pretty soon. Our deck is a combo control deck, basically. So our goal is to survive killing their stuff while we level Ezreal. And then once Ezreal levels, every spell we cast deals 2 damage to our opponent. So the goal is to survive to level this card up, and then we cast a bunch of spells to kill them.
Oh, take your time, pal. It's not like I've got better things to do.
Correct, Salty Ninja. Yeah, it's really... Runeterra, the way their turn flow works, has the best play draw balance of any game I've ever played as well. Just does a lot of things really right. Okay, so they played this fat monster that made the whatever that noise was. So these 2 things will be stunned every turn as long as this is around. I'm gonna go ahead and Static Shock both of these, I think. Get my Ezreal leveling here. Okay, Thermo Beam levels Ezreal.
Get ready for a beatdown!
This has Overwhelm, which is similar to Trample. So I don't want to chump block that. I think I just do this and go to 6. My opponent's deck doesn't have any reach. What's the best card acquisition model? Well, they got rid of the gate on how many cards you can buy. So if you're spending money, you just buy exactly the cards you want. There's no random card packs. If you're free to playing, you should be playing your free expeditions and getting your region rewards leveled up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just Thermo Beam to level Ezreal here. Opponent is at 11. This is getting stunned by this. These two are getting stunned, but every spell I cast deals 2 damage right now. Yeah, no random card packs is a big selling point in my opinion. Let's see if we can maybe burn them out. Okay, so this is 2, this is 5, this is 2. Are they dead? No, I'm 1 mana short, right? Yeah, the cost of cards are based on rarity. So, champions are the most expensive card. They cost $3 per copy. But the deck building restrictions in this game, you can only have 6 champions per deck. And then the other rarities cost $1.20, 30 cents, and 10 cents. Average deck, yeah, Ezreal's done. They're dead to Hush. They're at 6, they're gonna die to Hush here.
Bow to your king.
So Hush is really good with leveled Ezreal. Every time you cast it, it creates a fleeting copy of itself, and this is Burst. So this is the combo aspect of our deck. We survive to get Ezreal leveled, and then we get to just Hush them out of the game. So every time we cast a Hush, they take 2. So they have to either kill us or kill Ezreal before we get to this point.
I knew we had it all along.
How long until Baba is you? About an hour. We're gonna start about 2 o'clock. Yeah, definitely Innuendo. Yeah, tier 3 subs can submit a Runeterra or Arena deck every month when they renew. Nah, that sounds good. I'm taking most things right now. Innuendo, we're still in definitely the brewing portion of it. How vast / limited is the card pool in this? So, the only negative thing I have to say about Runeterra is it's still a very new game. So the card pool is small-ish. That being said, Runeterra's current card pool has more playable cards in it than Magic standard format does because their format is better balanced. Runeterra doesn't have a ton of draft chaff in their card pool, so most cards are playable, which is super refreshing. I think I'm just gonna Spacey Sketcher, discard Spacey Sketcher. None of these are super exciting. I guess I take the Silence here, because we're playing against Trundle Aesol again here, and wiping regeneration off their stuff is good. Yeah, and it runs on mobile. I don't know, mobile's not a big selling point for some, but like, as someone who has lots of small children, mobile's a big selling point for me. Would love a falling comment. Obliterate target enemies so good against their big chunky regenerators. Yeah, I agree, puppy.
Warms the heart and lights the way. My spirit
So,
shines.
damage stays on units across turns in this game. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna Mystic Shot this. It gives me a point towards leveling Israel. Lets me smack them for 2. Runeterra better enjoy the mobile advantage while it's last before top esport MTGA goes mobile. Hey, I appreciate that, Innuendo. And yeah, if you could just put your submission through the forum with the deck code in it, so that way I have it logged, that'd be great. Gosh, Written in Stars drawing Ezreal sounds absurd, huh?
Bask in her radiant blessing.
So invoking pulls a card under certain conditions. So this one's 4, 5, or 6. This one's 3 or less from a defined pool of cards. There's, I think, 24 total cards that cost between 0 and 10 mana. And they're not collectible. You can't put them in your deck. So the cards you get from invoking, you only get from invoking. You can't collect them or play them naturally.
Speak, stars. Speak, I say.
Yeah, I agree, Siren. You can also, and I'll show you here when I attack in a second, assuming they don't sweep the board. They might sweep the board. The order in which you scoop your things up determines the order in which you attack. So, for example here, if I scoop left to right, it puts them into play this way. But if I start in the middle and scoop here, then here, it puts her first. And this is relevant because the order in which you're attacking frequently matters in Runeterra, because combat resolves left to right. Well, that's rude. There's actually a hotkey for attack all, I think it's A, but you basically never want to use that hotkey because you almost always want to be thinking about how your attackers are ordered. That permutation and sequencing really matters. Combat's using the stack. So, I know you're making a joke, but it's actually very different from how damage used to use the stack in Magic. Very different, in fact.
I thought you'd never ask.
Yeah, Troll Chant is a premium combat trick for sure.
My spirit shines.
These are both 1/1s, so we'll attack and trade off here. So the Mystic Shot Ezreal creates is fleeting, which means it goes away at end of turn, so I might as well cash it in. That's a 5/5. That's really rude. So am I tri-beaming this? I guess I can Mystic Shot plus tri-beam it. So I don't want this to attack and hook my Ezreal. So Ezreal is 4 out of 8 towards leveling. Obliterate! Maybe I should just silence this, but if I silence this, they still have an 8/8, which is like a pretty big boy. So, again, you can attack with things the turn you play them. So I could attack with this if I play it, but my opponent doesn't currently have a board. So if I start the turn by attacking, my opponent does not get an opportunity to deploy blockers before I attack. So I want to do this so that way they don't have a chance to block my stuff. Because I could add a 1/2 to the board, but if I add a 1/2 to the board, they have 10 mana in their like big ramp deck. They'll probably play a giant thing, which wouldn't be good for me. So this heals them and then invokes. Maybe they're low enough that I'm supposed to just take that Mystic Shot and dome them. Could go either way. Could go either way. Gosh, am I just passing here? I think I'm just passing here. It doesn't feel good, but I don't really have anything else I want to accomplish. I actually haven't found it that obnoxious, Chaos Orb. I've seen some other people complain about it, but I definitely don't feel like the aggro decks are powerful enough that you can cut through it, generally speaking. Like, I don't feel put out, or like the games are necessarily out of range in the aggro decks I've been playing against this archetype. Well, poop. Yeah, it's not an Uro situation. I might regret bidding that Equinox.
Got me good.
Might regret bidding that Equinox. Again, just like don't have anything really to do with my mana here. I think I'm just gonna Static Shock just to spend some of my mana this turn. I ideally wanted to get 2 targets with this, but this draws a card. It's another Get Excited. Can we kill them next turn? Depends on how much healing they have. It's another Static Shock.
Anything else?
So I'm starting the turn by putting a fast spell on the stack and doing this. This allows them to block like this. However, the reason why I put this out here in advance like this is now I've played a card, so now I can Pale Cascade with the card draw. There's a reason why I did that. So they get a free block here on my 2/1, but now I draw a card with my Pale Cascade. Okay. Man, this is close. They have 5 mana. They could have the heal 5. I think I'm just supposed to chump bump here.
I got ways to find me mushrooms.
I think I just chump bump here. Yeah, I don't... I think, like, 3 star shaping has been pretty stock in these decks. I think it's wrong to go in there.
Time for a true display.
And now they did that, so I can play Ezreal. And now we're going to level Ezreal and get to start blasting them. So, like, when this Hush targets this, Ezreal's gonna level. Oh, I guess... Huh? Jack's really good, King. So now I can go... Get Excited, discard this Hush, deal 3. Get Excited, discard this Mushroom Cloud, deal 3. Play this Mushroom Cloud. So this is 10 total. Well played. And again, like complaints about Ezreal. They're going to 1 here, so they're not.
No way.
Maybe I'm supposed to play more burst spells there and less Get Excited. I couldn't have killed them with burst, right? Could I have killed them with burst? Did I mess that up? Someone's gonna go back and point out that I could have killed them with burst, right? I had 7 mana. I had Hush. 1 mana spell, 1 mana. Yeah, I missed lethal. I missed lethal. No, yeah, I definitely did. I had 7 mana. I had a copied Hush, 2 mushrooms, and this. Yeah, I missed lethal. Yeah, I could have killed them at burst speed there.
Mystical levitation requires concentration.
Should have counted. I was thinking I wanted extra in case they had healing, but burst speed they couldn't respond.
heavens diminish without my attention.
Alright, 5 puff caps in their deck. If they draw a puff cap, they die. 5 puff caps in their deck. This is Orion Sol. He's a giant space dragon. He levels up into a sweeter giant space dragon. 25% to kill them thereabouts.
I do love an audience. I don't remember you at all. A beginner's guide to creation.
All unbelievers will see the light.
Alright, so we get to level... No? We're not?
Excuse you. Sunward.
My, how they stare.
Ah! We were one turn off. Should have counted better and killed them with burst. Should have counted better and killed them with burst. I guess I could take one more turn there. I could have drawn another Mystic Shot. Yeah, it was really close. The deck could have won. Streamer did not. Counting is tough, chat. You probably need some kind of degree to be good at counting. Lulu Shen. Definitely want Mystic Shock, Static Shock against this aggro deck. Do I want Hush? I might want Hush. I'm looking at it for now. Look at that. The deck is confident we want Hush. God bless. Alright, so I'm gonna Mystic Shot this. Damage will remain on it across turns. We'll take 5 here, but the next turn I'll save 1 mana and then we'll get 3 and I can Static Shock these. You can store up to 3. That's what the 3 dots are here for. Alright, fingers crossed, no Ranger's Guile. Rangers Resolve, whatever it's called. This gives their stuff tough. Stupid interactive card game. That's a pretty big tempo swing. We got to draw a card there, but they spent 1 mana to stop our 4 mana play. Assume they're gonna open on attacks here.
Wait, is that a familiar frog? Oh my gosh. Go on, Rib.
You told me to say hello. Hello.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
Come on, Rib.
Batter him! No one goes hungry.
Yeah, might just get run down here. Thermo Beam's actually a great pickup. So I get to Meteor Shower, kill this, and then I can Thermo Beam finish this. The problem is they have 5 mana to deploy more units with this turn. Ranger Resolve at least doesn't stop both my things.
Is it adventure time, you guys? What do you say, Glow? That's yes! The sun rock got me good.
So this is definitely an open on attack turn, right?
My strength is yours.
Okay. That was a rough one. If I'm less greedy that game, and I don't, if I play around Ranger's Resolve, we can probably win that game. Like if I would have Mystic Shotted their 2 1-on-1 instead of trying to set up the 2-for-1. So tried to get value and died because the aggro decks are playable in this game. You're a good bit behind. I've been going for almost an hour, Blood Moon. Sajani Gangplank, usually something aggressive. I keep the Tri-Beam. I'm gonna keep Ezreal here too. I'll probably play him out a little aggressively to generate Mystic Shots. Yeah, Sajani Gangplank. So both of these champions have the same level up condition, damaging the enemy Nexus. So usually they're pretty aggressive.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, we're gonna play Bob in about half an hour. No, I've not played it off stream before. There's no reason to play this now. It's burst and I'm gonna save the mana.
The dead don't need riches.
I'm gonna take the Falling Comet, so I have a way to deal with their champions down the line here.
Treasures of the ages for price.
So I'm gonna Guiding Touch, heal my thing here, so this way I can Thermo Beam this for 1 mana. Thermo Beam always uses all your remaining mana, so finding spots to fit it on the curve like this is good. I'm gonna again just stick on the Comet.
Heart and lights the way.
Yeah, Thermo Beam's a format staple. Really good flexibility.
Covered in ice.
This card's interesting. I don't know that we have enough 3-drops to support it, but this definitely seems good when it's good. Is it run in most decks? Runeterra's got a lot of archetype diversity, and you can only have 2 factions. There's 8. There are colors in this game, so there's 8 total factions in Runeterra, and each deck can only have 2 factions in it. So like, thinking of it as colors from Magic. There's 8 colors, and you can mix and match 2 of them. So like, my opponent is Bilgewater Freljord. I am Targon Piltover. And they plan to add more factions or colors as they expand the card pool. So every 6 months they plan to add another color. I think up to like 10 or 11 is the plan.
Heretic.
Yeah, at the start of the game you see their champions and their regions. Very, very easy to make informed mulliganing decisions in Runeterra, which is another thing that I love. Yeah, Captain Buckles. I've actually been doing 7 days a week for like the last month now. I've been doing slightly shorter days, so I haven't been live for quite as long on each stream, but basically live every day.
Bow to no one. Bristle, attack!
You gotta believe me.
take 8 here, 9 to this levels.
Only the strong survive.
So I have 9 total mana here. Ezreal is still nowhere near leveled. This game's been rough. I think I'm gonna start with Priestess and see where we get. Maybe I'm not supposed to Priestess here. It doesn't really impact the board in a super meaningful way. Take Traveler as a blocker.
Her radiant blessing.
Ancient things trapped in the ice.
Yeah, definitely Super Elite. I think Runeterra having a really strong IP to be based on is definitely a huge boon to the software itself.
Fight or you'll swim.
Them making a powder keg here is real scary. They could definitely just burn us out. Hey, Buckles, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. For Harrowing Trundle, Runeterra build sounds good. Think I need to just, like, kill their board and put a bunch of blockers out here?
To keep us moving.
That's a pretty good one to hit. We got one that we just, like, want units, and we got one that came with a friend. Oh, we're gonna die to Rex.
There'll be blood in the water.
I think this technically means we don't die this turn, right? But we're still dead next turn when they open attacks. Board and high card. I guess we're technically not dead yet.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty sparkle fly.
They probably have like a make it rain or something to just kill us next turn, but we technically are dead on board at least, so we've got that going for us.
Bilgewater is mine and mine alone.
Yeah, dead to warning shot.
Just see where they come. Who's the best luck? You best hope they'll do, mate.
Okay, you be quiet. Be very quiet.
Enter, traveler, and stop staring.
Stop staring. Why would they not just target us? They're so close.
Everyone pay.
Oh, you're so close. I guess we have healing, huh? Which is why they didn't just target us. Yeah, we're dead in combat though, innuendo. They had 4 attackers and I only had 3 blockers once that died. I only had 1 mana. I'm pretty sure the parlay damage only happens if parlay kills the thing. I thought that was the case. So, probably an aggro deck. Not 100% sure this is something new. I'm going to keep Static Shock and Tri-Beam here. Pervidia, thanks for 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. What do I dislike about Runeterra? The size of the current card pool. The deck editor. The deck editor needs work. The deck editor needs a craft all button, and the deck editor needs a pile view.
One star's whoopsie is another spark.
The craft all button's like a sometimes annoyance. It's not really a big deal. Like, none of it is anything I consider show-stopping. But, like, again, be fair and balanced. Those are things that should improve. Anything about the game mechanics themselves? I don't think so. I really genuinely think that the core game of Runeterra is just really well done. Yeah, pretty much everything I play here on stream or viewer submissions high card for a small donation. You can get added to the deck queue. Well, we're about to take a metric truckload, but my static shocks are going to be good.
Rise.
The old turn 2 9 ball. Do I have a favorite deck? So just like Magic stuff, Dirty Digits, I've been tagging Runeterra favorites that you can find up on my site. Messenger sounds lovely. Who's a good boy? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. The goodest of boys. Great, Bone Daddy. Thanks for the 20 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. There's one particular stuff about, I don't know. I'm really enjoying exploring the day and night decks, but I don't know that I really have one that's just like this one so much better than everything else necessarily.
Fresh catch? Well, it was fresh.
Yeah, Arena could desperately use a action log. That's for sure. Desperately. So almost assuredly killing something with Get Excited this turn.
It's our time.
Am I?
Hold still.
Do I want to cast this card to gain 2? I feel like I'm in the market to cast this card to gain 2, chat. What do we think? I'm gonna go 6. They could have a Pale Cascade. These are ephemeral anyways. They're gonna like play a bunch of Hound Dogs and drain me out and make me sad.
Don't blink or you'll miss me. Watch and learn.
Unseen, unheard.
Stalking Shadows into the Drain 2 unit is very, very scary here.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
I think this means they have another one, right? Because they've played 2 They played 2 Stalking Shadows. So this last card is a Doom Beast or...
No sweat.
I'm not dead yet.
Believe or burn.
Probably have an Ephemeral Doom Beast.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
I feel like I want to touch more healing in this deck. Like, these aggro matchups have felt really close.
How I missed your light.
Thank the mother you're all right. What have you learned?
Sisters.
In the name of our land!
This attack's probably bad, right? Because my 1-2 could trade with that.
They forced us to choose death or the blade.
So, is this the ephemeral... Is this the ephemeral deal, whatever? Pretty sure this is an ephemeral drain too.
Freedom.
Yeah. But I'm gonna put some heals in this deck. Yeah, the burst gain heal to... I think there's only one of those in here. Yeah, it seems. That seems loose. Zonite Urchin's been... I feel like I have too many of these effects that want me to discard things. I don't know, I kind of want like 1 Star Shaping. Mentor the Stones has been kind of whatever. Tri-Beam's been slow and clunky. I'm gonna cut one of those. Nah, it's been awkward. Diana Nocturne, so something aggressive. I think I'm mulliganing these two, gonna keep Mystic Shot and Ezreal, try and control the board a little bit. A lot of the times, your first Ezreal in the aggro matchup, you're gonna play out aggressively and use the generated Mystic Shots from him to control their board. We are attacking on evens here, which is a little awkward with Ezreal.
It's our time.
For people that are new to Runeterra, not familiar, Nocturne is the other Nightfall champion, so they're likely a Nightfall, aggro, or mid-range deck. Species Catcher sounds good. Ooh.
And here's where I'd
For any new cards, you consider the Jinx's Entreat deck. I think the new...
Eat your feelings.
The combat trick is pretty good. The give -2 attack, +2 defense.
No recourse.
I think that card's pretty playable in most Freljord decks.
Question all that you are told.
Let's kill her now before they can Pale Cascade up. Yeah, we played a variation of Diana Nocturne on Dream at 1.2. It felt very reasonable.
The faithful and fear the heretic.
If the bot doesn't have the new set cards in it yet. So we'll go up to 4 mana next turn with 1 spell mana bank, so I can play Ezreal, hit them, and get a Mystic Shot. This is fearsome, so I can't block here. This will be a 2/2 next turn, so I think I just take a hit for 7. I think that card's too slow and clunky, Bloodbaden. I think you just don't want to play bad cards, and that's kind of not a very good card. Like, when your Ezreal levels up, you should be incidentally winning the game anyways, so you shouldn't play cards that are only good when Ezreal's leveled. Well, that's rude.
Spilled paint is just accidental art.
The Diana Leona deck felt like it needed early plays. I don't think so. I think you had 6 good 1-drops in this deck, and that's plenty. In that deck, and that was plenty. I think the 1-drop that makes gems isn't a very good aggressive card. I'd stay away from it. Well, this is permanently vulnerable. That's super annoying. I guess we're using Pale Cascade to trade for Nocturne then. Or they're gonna kill him with that. Got it. Yeah, I mean, from a game theory optimal sense, Donut, like, aggro decks are the most efficient to climb with. Oh, this gives all their other stuff fearsome, right? Okay, so I think the plan here then is give this 2/1, give this 2/1, block here. Go to 6. I mean, that's gonna happen sometimes regardless, Jack. I'd encourage mulliganing more. Like a yodel in uniform.
Darkness hides in their path.
Tradesies. Tradesies. Gain 5 looking real good here against the aggro deck. Extra gain 2, also looking great. Yep. Grudge. Alright, this one's probably done then, right? I've got four health rolled up here. See, chat, little changes can make your matchups a lot better.
We were peaceful once. Daylight
Nailed it. This card's got big worm coil energy. 6 drop, 4/3 lifesteal. That also makes a 4/3 elusive. Yeah, you got it.
The light of my star warms the heavens, invisible to the ignorant.
My light shines.
Oh, you know what? I should attack with this and hook their 3/2. They're gonna get to trade with my lifesteal here. Yeah, I should have get my lifesteal. I don't think it matters. I think we're far enough ahead. We're far enough ahead that it's whatever, but yeah, the emote system for this game is great.
Her flowers bring the moonlight with them.
Yeah, I've seen some people playing Shroud in Darkness, and this really does not seem like a particularly good enabler to me.
Have no quarrel.
We will be free.
The world's a big place.
Seeing our deck just pull out. Screwed on Diana because she took attacks intelligence is bad episode. That, yeah, makes sense.
I knew we had it all along.
Yeah, opponent's playing a pretty high density of low quality cards that don't generate card advantage. Alright, this is going to be our last game of Runeterra. Then we're going to shift gears to do some variety and wrap up with Baba Is You today. If you're a new viewer, thanks for dropping by. If you're enjoying the Runeterra content, I do some Runeterra stuff basically every single day. And everything ends up on my website and my YouTube channel. We play all constructed here. Swain Twisted Fate. I think I'm in for Misted Shot, Static Shot. Gonna mulligan these. This deck, like most of the decks that I play, is a viewer submission. If you're someone that has a sweet deck you'd like to see played on stream at some point in the future, you can submit that on my website by following the instructions there. Yeah, in my experience, I've enjoyed the Nightfall decks as more mid-range decks.
True display of skill.
You have any of your former students watch you on Twitch? No, I don't believe so. You have to remember, like, in the grand scheme of things, Twitch is pretty niche overall.
Stop bragging if you could back it up.
So close to getting to blow them out with Pale Cascade here, huh? Let's kill something with 3 power or less, only gives 2. I think this is probably the best combat trick in the game. If you ask me to pick the best combat trick right now, finding which aggro deck leverages this card the best is something I definitely want to do. I have a graduate degree in mathematics, and I used to teach at a couple of different local colleges and universities as an adjunct. Yeah, I think it's better than Troll Chant.
Deal me in.
Troll Chant's like a fine card, but I think if you ask me to like, Jeff, what's the number one? I think it's this. The fact that it cantrips is huge.
You'll go no farther.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a ton of good combat tricks in this game, and honestly, one of the reasons why I love Runeterra is because there's so many playable combat tricks. But I think this is my pick for, like, if you're like, Jeff, what combat trick is a step above the rest? This is my pick right at the moment. The fact that this draws a card is just like really, really good. Let's kill Twisted Fate before they draw too many cards and he levels up. He's real scary if he levels. What do we cut for star shaping? I don't remember. I will post the deck code for this latest iteration on my Mobilytics before we start Baba. I added 1 star shaping and we went up to the full 3 copies of the 2 mana burst healing. Yeah, I trimmed a tri-beam and some other things. Oh yeah, it should be on the overlay too. Perfect, is that the code? Thanks, Silence. Yeah, perfect, looks right.
I'm always up for a round or two.
Maybe I'm supposed to static shock this so I could attack this into trade with the 2/2. So I'm going to Mushroom Cloud here, so that way Pale Cascade gets to draw a card. Man, Gilding Touch is good with that too. That's so sick. Hey, take 3. Harsh but fair. Harsh but fair. This otter's seen some shit, chat. He's going through some stuff, okay? I tried my best, little otter. It was sometimes my best is not enough. So Ezreal is 5 out of 8, so this is 2, this is 3. Which is nice.
Empire above all. By my hand.
Ugh. So think we're Solari priestessing. Huh. Do we want Written in Stars to make Ezreal bigger? I'm gonna have 6 mana left after this. I'm gonna need to hush Swain to not get hit. I think I want Written in Stars for a big Ezreal.
It's the way.
We are at war.
The or burn.
King Knock, thanks for 14 months. Welcome back.
Deploying!
That's great. There are only 5 mushrooms in their deck, and 2 of them were on that Swain. Lovely. Alright, so do I just, like, put this Ezreal into play?
I'm so good, I surprised myself. Don't blink, or you'll miss me.
And then I can, like, attack, hit them for 2, Mystic Shot them for 4, and then this'll do 2 next turn, he says, before getting Culling Striked.
Watch and learn.
They have a Raven, they have a Flock here. They could have a Flock, right? That's probably why they dealt 2. I'd be surprised if this Ezreal hits them. Flock is a 1 mana, deal 4 damage to something that's damaged or stunned. Let's see what's the play here. Yeah. Do not give a flock about our Ezreal, chap.
Store the rations! Shackle the prisoners!
The world's a big place. Let's see all of it.
By my hand, Noxus rise. Grand General!
Okay, so I'm at 11. We're gonna pass. So remember, we are at a virtual 8 because Leviathan is hitting us next turn. Is something to think about here. So I can hush the trigger off of this. I can hush the overwhelm off of this. I'm pretty sure this will still be stunned next
Take
turn.
your time, pal. It's not like I've got better things to do.
Because, the silence wears off at end of round. So this happens at the start of the next round. So this will 100% be stunned next turn. I'm literally dead on board if I don't play the Ezreal Missile Head. What if I do this and then Static Shock here, and then try and kill them with Hush and other things over the course of the next 2 turns? I guess I'm going to 6, so I'm not going to get one more turn. I could find a heal on my turn. I think I do this.
I know you're thinking and stuff, but could you maybe...
I go to 3
speed
next
things up
turn
a little?
then. Yeah, I think this is the play. We're super dead to a Ravenous block or another Swain here, but I just can't play around that. I have to block with this. Sure, but like, what's the play, right? Like, how do I play around flock? Like, for people that are pointing out things that kill my Ezreal here, explain the line that's different than this. You can't play around things you can't beat. Yeah, we're just trying not to die is exactly correct. Can we hush 4 times for 8 damage? We definitely can. Okay, that's an obliterate.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
I can hush the stun off, but then he loses all his other tech, so that wouldn't be good. He would also lose elusive and his power up. Hush wipes all the text off the card, chat, all the bonuses.
No way.
Prepare the cargo! There is no excess when victory is at stake.
This deck felt a little bit mediocre to me. I think I like we would have won, I think, 2 or 3 more of the games with slightly better play, perhaps. I do think that the existing build that's up on the Mobalytics website does not have enough healing in it. I definitely think playing more Gilding Touch at a minute. I don't know what the record is. The record doesn't matter, Ant Faded. One of the things that I think other streamers, if your sample size isn't 4 digits or close to it, your record is shit and doesn't matter. You're not getting statistically significant sample sizes. The details about what went into playing your deck matters way more than if I went 4-1 or 1-4. Because if I went 4-1, but my opponent fucked up in 3 of the games that I won, like my deck really wasn't powerful enough to beat them. Or if I went 1-4, but I made huge mistakes in 3 of those losses, like, it doesn't, like, that's not representative of, like, the power level of the deck. Yeah, honestly, and I feel like this is feedback I should pass along to the Mobalytics people. I don't know if Percy's here. I'll probably message them. But, like, I think Mobalytics actually, yes, 4 digits is a lot. For what I know, a sample size is 0 to 30. No, it's not. It's not nearly enough. There's 0 to 30 to 100 is meaningful if there's not a lot of variation and things you could talk about with regards to that. Like, if like the number of options that you have, but there's so many things that happen over the course of a game of Runeterra that could impact the results that I think that sample size is nowhere near enough. I think something that the Mobalytics folks do and I love their site. I think it's great, but I think this is a disservice. So at the start of the season here, they've put up a bunch of theoretical deck lists, and they've listed all of these as S tier. And I think in reality, they need to do the opposite of this. They're communicating poorly here. My understanding is that generally speaking, these metrics are very data driven, and I would be very surprised, and maybe they can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would be surprised if these specific decks that are listed as S tier have data to back this up less than a week into the set release. Like, and this is, again, this is kind of semantics, but communicating to the player base, I don't think there should be anything listed here that's above B tier until they have data to back it up. I think to list things as A and S tier, they should have a more data-driven approach. I think theory crafting only goes so far. Just look at how constantly wrong good players, even people like myself, are about evaluating spoilers. And, like, I get what they're trying to do. Like, I copied this Targon Ezreal deck here, but, like, this is basically clickbait right now. The reason all of these being listed as S and A tier, this is basically clickbait. And maybe that's their goal. Maybe it's not to be data driven, but, like, I think they should be, when we're early like this, it should be like, these should be, like, listed as B and C tier with maybe a little paragraph about like, it's still early, we don't really know, right? To the person I just banned, I hope whatever is so awful about your life that you, like, come into random Twitch chats and hate on people like that. I really hope your life improves. Because, like, to post a message like that, you have to be in a really terrible place. And I hope that you, and of course, messages like this are, like, from people that have magic-related usernames all the time. Because, again, the Runeterra community's been great. And basically almost, I don't think I've banned a single person from the Runeterra side. We've issued some timeouts for lazy comments, but all of the bans have been magic-related people that hang around. Well, at any rate, I was kind of underwhelmed by this deck. I think the healing in it is necessary and gives you some more play in the aggressive matchups, but, like, that last Swain matchup, it really felt tough, and I don't know, it just felt like our deck just didn't have the tools to be competitive there, and that's actually something that I think we're going to see more of. So, as the format develops more, the novelty of playing with the Targon cards is going to wear off, and we're going to see more Swain decks on the ladder. We're going to see more Bilgewaters on the ladder and stuff like that. Decks that were good last season, people are going to go like, oh, I want to try and figure out how good those still are. Any recommendation on what to start let's do for a new player? Yeah, I'd recommend, so the best starting thing is here is in the play button. There's this challenge options. Play through all of these. You collect experience while doing it, and it even has the new mechanics here. These teach you every mechanic in the game. Play all of them. Once you do that, there's this lab here where you get to pick one of 6 pre-made decks. Play with all 6 different pre-made decks and find out which cards you like. And then once you have an idea for what cards you like, craft a deck. All right, yeah, someone asked, Baba is you. That's not a Runeterra deck, so I'm just doing one Runeterra deck today. We're gonna do some variety. We're gonna play some Baba Is You, which is a puzzle game that one of my subs had submitted to me. So let's get that loaded up. Thanks everybody for hanging out. If you were just here for the Runeterra stuff, you're not gonna stay for the variety segment. Hopefully see you tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon with more Runeterra. Let's shift gears, huh? Hello, lovely wife.
Hi.
You came in mid-range.